Here we are recording live. Welcome, Mr. Rob Huntley. Rob,
hello.
We're all part of the Ninja Group. Could you just explain what you do, how you got involved in trading, and the type of tools that you use? Perhaps just an explanation of, how you became involved with the group, Ninja Group originally, and why you use particular tools the way you do.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you, Kevin. My sort of background was not anything to do with trading whatsoever. Wasn't ever a kind of like maths genius or anything like that. Didn't understand how the markets worked. I did look at price charts and things like that many years ago. Couldn't get to grips with it, so I just left it alone. Previously, I've worked as a sort of self-employed web guy. I've worked in a pharmaceutical. I've got to be careful how I've phrase this, pharmaceutical distribution center, but no, it wasn't anything like that. It was a proper actual pharmacies and chemists and things like that. So yeah, my background was nothing really to do with Forex whatsoever. But one of my Facebook contacts, I saw her showing how she was trading on her phone, and I thought, oh, actually, that looks a lot easier than when I've looked at Forex before. So that's kind of what got me started and curious. So I asked for more information, and that's when I got into the Ninja Trading Group. And things have just developed and progressed from there.
How long have you been doing it now then? How long have you been part of the Ninja Group?
I joined in October 2017, so we're coming up to three and a half years-ish around this time.
Christ.
Christ indeed.
I thought I've been in it a couple of years, and I thought I was one of the older ones in terms of longer standing, but I'm not, obviously. But Rob, obviously, I've seen what you do in the live sessions and stuff, and the way you help people in the group. What sort of made you go for the type of strategy, this approach to trading that you have? I mean, because I know you like to get in quite quickly, or as soon as you can, and get those pips. What sort of swung you in that direction, do you think?
Well, one of the things from trying various trading strategies in the past, I've found that my trading personality doesn't suit sort of long-term stuff. So, for example, there was a strategy that it would be a longer-term trade. I'd leave a trade running overnight, and I just found that I wasn't sleeping well. My sort of subconscious mind would be going, "Oh, I wonder what's going on with that trade." And even though I had all the protection in place, stop loss, take profits set, and all that sort of thing, sometimes I'd wake up in the morning to lovely profits, and other times I'd wake up to find that actually my stop loss had been hit, and I had no control over it. So that kind of made me think, well, actually, that style of trading doesn't really suit me and my personality. I prefer my sleep, so I'd rather just do sort of short-term trades.
Brilliant.
So that's when I then sort of got onto what's referred to as scalping. So you're into the market not necessarily fairly early on in a move. Sometimes it can be early on in the move, and just bagging profits at a particular level, and that can sometimes also lead to frustration, because then you go, I could have stayed in that and let it run for longer. But actually, sometimes just taking those profits, you could still get in again, and if you're in early enough in a move, you can still get another opportunity to enter again, as hopefully we'll show you in a little while. But yeah, that's why I enjoy scalping. I can grab some pips, get out, and I see some people refer to scalping as being quite stressful, but for me, I don't find it stressful. I'm quite, I guess you have to be confident with the setup and everything first before saying, right, that's going to cause me little to no stress.
Exactly. I think it's having that, once you've got that strategy system in place, when you say you do get a little bit of drawdown, maybe it's going against you slightly, you've got the confidence to sort of, because you get to know the market. I know you like a particular currency pair, for example. But you get to know it, and then you can watch it quite confidently. So, I've got a little bit of drawdown. This should be going in my favour. But again, even having watched you trade, on the live sessions, you're always conscious of the fact that in the back of your mind, you have we call it a stop loss, don't we? Stop loss figure. So if it goes against you so far, you've already calculated that risk, and well, that's it. I've had a bad day, and that's the way it goes. But and the tools that you use, I know that we've got all sorts available to us inside of the academy and inside of the group itself. We have our own exclusive stuff inside there. What do you gravitate towards when you're looking for your setups?
So what I normally do is, so with the harmonic scanner, one of the core elements of what we follow in the Ninja trading system is the harmonic scanner, because that will give you an overall direction or idea of direction for a particular currency pair. So I tend to go to that quite a lot. I will also look at another tool which is actually what I started out using really. It's now, I think it's changed its name now, but I still use the old version. But it calls out sort of high sort of volume bursts in sort of currency pairs, and you get an audible alert when there's a new notification that comes up. And all I was doing was just going to have a look, and I would get home in those days, get home from work at sort of 6 in the evening, jump on that, and could capture sort of numbers of pips, sort of just in and out fairly quickly, 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever it was, pips in the evening. But now I'm probably stick with the harmonic scanner more, right? Just because that gives me an overall, I don't know why I'm doing that, but an overall direction. So we normally you've got a swing high to a swing low, and then a direction of where it's potentially going to get a reversal and go back up again. If it's that way around.
And that scanner, that sort of points you in the right direction to start with, and then you look at then obviously analysing what it's doing, and then you're waiting for that little swing in the right direction, and in you go. I mean, do you want to? Could you possibly share your screen? Hopefully you've got your authorised. I'm just looking at it now. Can you share or not?
Looks like I might be able to.
Because I've got you ticked on, not you, but I've got multiple participants. Yeah, looks like it's sharing. Yes. Okay. Excellent stuff.
There we go. So you can see my chart at the moment.
Yeah.
So, for example, I trade this pair a lot, the pound Australian dollar, and you can see that I'm on the 5-minute time frame. So we've got up here the 5 minute. You can see there it all says 5, and just in the background there it says pound Australian dollar, and you might be able to see a 5 there. So I know Kevin's already gone through the Ninjacator and the multi-time frame stochastic, but this is what I generally use, just the Ninjacator and the stochastic based on the results of a harmonic pattern. So I would then look for opportunities where I can see that this yellow line is crossing this red/green line. So these are moving averages. And then my initial target would be this blue line, and if these two moving averages here cross this third moving average, then we're normally in it for a jolly good run. Now this is on the 5-minute time frame, and I have it on the 5-minute time frame so I can see all of the time frames across the multi-time frame stochastic at the bottom here. And again, I know Kevin's already talked about that as part of what he's developed. So previously, I would be on the 5-minute time frame with just the ordinary stochastic. Then I'd jump to the 15-minute. Then I'd jump to the 30-minute. Whereas now I can see all of the time frames in one go, and I can see we've got I can't see it there because the controls are in the way. The 5-minute stochastics were down in the extreme here. And we've got the 15 and the 30 are sort of on their way down, but actually that there is looking like a good point to get in for a buy. Now at this point here, we're now saying that the 5 minutes are up in the extreme, 5 minutes are up in the extreme, 5 minutes are up in the extreme, so we're looking for a sell. It didn't come really, as you can see, price just kept going up, and then we get to this point here where actually nearly all of the time frames are up in the extreme here, and you can see that it's given us an indication for a sell. We've got the ninja down there, but behind all of that as well, I've got these dotted lines, which are, sorry, these are dashed lines, my apologies, my 35 pip lines. And I've found that over time, I'm just going to turn the indicator off for a second just to make it a little bit easier to see. I found that over time, this pair moves in a certain way and seems to respond or react to these 35 pip levels. So for example, here you could see price pushed right up to that line, almost bang on, and these go back quite a way. These 35 pip lines is not just something I've done over the last week or something. And again, you can see how price has reacted to it again over here, and this is just the five minute time frame. Similarly, you can see here price has reacted to that 35 pip level and dropped. I've got another 35 pip level here, but there's also a green dashed line, which is a particular volume target. What you will see if we zoom out a bit, lots of lines and arrows and stuff and nonsense. But you are
renowned for your lines.
I am indeed.
Does that stem back from the school days? Just getting lines. Is it something that's rolled on in your life?
No, but good point. But no, not on this occasion.
No.
So what I've got here is lots of these dashed 35 pip lines, but you can see that on this green line here, that over time there's been a cluster of activity around that price level. So you can see here, here. So that that goes back further than that as well. Go back here, you can see it all happening again back there.
Yeah.
So
it's like a magnet, isn't it?
It is.
Tracks.
Yeah. Amazing. So once you kind of get to grips with a pair, like I have done with this one, and this is what I've sort of shared with our community, is that this is how I'm trading this particular currency pair, is these 35 pip lines, and the number of other people who are using the 35 pip lines as well. But these are just primarily based on support and resistance levels, and I had found that purely by chance that maybe the distance between that one and that one was around 34 pips, and the distance between that one and that one was 36 pips. And I thought, well, if I just make them all 35 pip levels, and price just seems to react around those sorts of areas on its way up and on its way down. And this was something that I was highlighting on one of my previous sessions here, that on this move down, you had the push down and then a little push up, push down, then push up. I've just highlighted them with a little circle there, and I've just marked with a dotted line saying look left. So I don't know if you can see that from getting away.
Yep.
So you can see how price reacts to those levels on the way back up again. It was interesting. And also with this move here, the D point, which was the swing low of the harmonic pattern at that time, kept shifting. So that's why I've got lots of D's on there.
Yeah.
But then drew a trend line from that, and then we just watched how price bounced off the trend line. And you may look at this on the 5 minute time frame, go, oh, that doesn't look like much. But actually, I think when I called this one here, saying price is approaching the trend line again, let's see if it bounces or breaks. It did bounce, and that was, well, it ended up going for 100, over 100 pips. So it doesn't look like a big move, but that's why I like this pair, because you're not having to wait ages and ages and ages for a nice amount of profit to be hit.
And that's something that you do tend to find that people like to scalp the market. They like to get into those pairs that moves quite nicely, quite quickly. You could say a bit more volatility in it.
Yeah.
But you do get those pips, and I know we mentioned pips as well. I mean, that's just one way we measure the price. A pip can be worth $1, a pound. It could be worth more. We don't really profess profits and stuff. We're not allowed to disclose that type of stuff, but that's really what we're talking about. It's a measurement of price movement, if you want, and it can be worth whatever you want it to be worth, depending on your account size. But that's interesting. And the I noticed when you had an indicator on as well, it's something I didn't mention, was you said about the moving averages that you use, because we've actually inbuilt them, haven't we, into that into the indicator itself.
Yes.
So that you see all of Rob's lines there. Yeah.
Yeah. So these moving averages, we've got one that's built in, which is just a standard one, which actually changes color with the trend. So let me try and enlarge that a bit so you can see it nice and easily. So this line here you can see is currently green, and then it gets to that point and changes red. So it also gives you a good indication with the confirmation of the ninja down, with these two lines crossing here, and that change in color, that okay, we've got a change in direction. And rather than buying, if you happen to be buying at that point, it might be an idea to get out and start selling it. And the same when we've got it coming down this way, where these lines cross here, you can see you have the change of color from red to green on that line there. We didn't get the ninja up alert as early as we did on that move there, but that still gives you an opportunity. I probably wouldn't have got into, actually I just realized I'm on the 30-minute time frame there, so it might make it easier if I'm on the 5-minute. I tend to place my trades on the 5-minute the majority of the time. So we can see, here, for example, where it was fairly recently, time-wise, it's only, what time is that, 12:25. Today's the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
We've got this ninja up here. We've had the 5-minute stochastics down in the extreme. Personally, I would prefer to have the 5 and the 15 together, but that's all I'm looking for is for those setups for the stochastics to be in the extreme, the 5 and 15. So here's a good example. We've got the 5 and 15 in the extreme, looking for a sell. The lines haven't crossed here. This yellow and green / red line haven't crossed. They've then crossed. We've had the ninja down, and you could get into that for a sell for. Oh, actually, we had a big move down there, so that was 30 odd pips. But even if you took it out about there, that's 20 pips, quite nicely. So,
and that's it. I think that is, explains nicely how you can, even if you're just going for your 10 pip moves, even on a volatile currency pair, you can actually probably get there quite quickly if that's what you want to do. But I mean, and I noticed that Rob, that you tend to stick with this pair. You said earlier. Because I know it can be a bit overwhelming if you've got like 28 pairs set up. And what ones do I trade? What one do I trade? And I think that's the beauty of what we do as a group as well, is that Rob, you obviously focus on GPAUD, which is great, and the harmonic scanner as well, which will select certain pairs for us. So we haven't got to keep scanning 28 pairs looking for the right setups. We can just sit there, and within really 5-10 minutes, we've got our analysis done.
Yeah.
And we're set up for the day, really, aren't we?
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's great insight, Rob, as to what you do there. I know that a lot of the members are getting some tremendous success out of this as well. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Well, we'll just following on from that, we had a chat with Sarah Jane earlier, and that's as a hard-working housewife and mum, she just trades pound Australian dollar using those 35 pip lines, and using the indicator, the stochastics, getting the 10 pips a day, job done. She's happy with that.
I've seen her posts actually. I'm part of her page. It's great to see all that. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean that's superb. Well, I think we've pretty much covered it, Rob. Really, haven't we? From your perspective, your style of trading and how you set things up. It's a brilliant insight. I appreciate that. And I'm sure those that are looking in on this workshop stroke, however it comes out, as a collective group of videos, hopefully you'll found this interesting, because this is a classic example of where you could focus on one pair, overlay 2 indicators, one indicator and the stochastic, wait for certain things to happen, get in the trade. Simple as that. And And in the group, you got the expert guidance from Rob, because that's what he's doing, and he's thankfully he shares it with everybody. So thank you, Rob, for taking the time to explain that. I'm sure everyone's going to get a great bit of benefit from that. I certainly do when I'm on your sessions. So thanks, mate. And I think that would do. Just for those looking in, make sure you come and check us out. There's, as Rob's already said, we've got free periods that you can use some of our tools and become involved with us all as a group. So yeah, thanks again, Rob. Anything else you want to follow up with at all?
No, I don't think so. I think I hope that what I've just shown you, obviously I haven't gone into huge amounts of detail there, but it gives a brief overview of how simple trading Forex can be. I know that it does actually look quite complicated with all these lines all over the place and excuse me, all these sort of squiggly bits here and there, but actually that's what we hold these live sessions for, is to help you understand what those lines are doing, what their job is, and actually once you get to grips with it, which doesn't take that long, you could then use them to apply to your own trading with the strategy, with the indicators, and you could start to make some money. So yeah, that's all it is. Hopefully you found that to be of benefit.
Brilliant. Okay, well, in that case, we'll call it a day, and we'll see you all on the inside. Thanks a lot, Rob.
Thank you.
Cheers.